Hey guys, and welcome to a showcase of this incredible seed. Now this isn't normally the sort of thing that I would do on my channel, but I really love this seed, especially in amplified format, so I am going to be showing it off and showing off some of my favorite spots and all the different biomes in this seed. Now the great thing about this seed is it's got great generation on both normal and amplified settings, as well as it has an incredible amount of biomes. It's got every biome within about a 2,000 block radius. It's incredible. I really love it. And I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite generation spots, as well as just some of the different biome spots throughout this seed. Now the seed will be down in the description and in an annotation on the video, and the coords will be shown as well in both those formats. So let's go ahead and get into it. Here's the spawn. Now I personally like the spawn, but it's definitely not the highlight of this seed. It's a really plain but also hilly area. So we've got some lows and we've got some big highs. You spawn on this mountain, which is probably the worst part about this seed because it's not exactly the easiest thing to get down. My preferred choice is to jump into this waterfall and hope you don't die. So let's go ahead and check out the terrain around here. Got some really nice spikes as well as just some general hills in the area. But my personal favorite is this really thick hill right here. I think it'd be really easy to build off of this as well as build inside of this, which is personally how I generally like to go. So I think you've got a lot of room to work with in this part. But this part is really not the biggest showcase of the seed. Let's go ahead and move on to some of the best parts and some incredible terrain generation. Alright, up first we have some ice spikes holding up these mountains. Now this is the ice plains biome complemented by the ice spikes biome, which generates inside of the ice plains in certain spots. Now these are hard to find, but this is actually about 2,000 blocks from spawn, so you can get to it pretty easily. Now look at how it's holding this up. I just think this is so cool. It's like it's chaining the mountains down or chaining them up to hold them into position. I think it looks really cool. Now around here we've also got some other ice spikes. We've got some kind of cave formations as it goes under the ground right there. And we've also got a lot of running water, which you're normally not going to see in the ice spikes biome. This comes off, there's a hill right there, and there's two lakes over here, and that might be a third over there to form a lot of water. And then as it gets a little warmer and heads out of the ice spikes into towards some hills and some extreme hills, we've also got some more water and some lava over there on both of these sides. Next up is my personal favorite spot in this showcase. If you are into jungles, this place will blow your mind. We've got valleys with extreme drop-off surrounding them, and we have some floating islands and huge mountains around it. Over here is some of my favorite terrain generation that I've seen in terms of hills. They're really steep mountains just above the hilly landscape coming out from the river. It just goes straight up. It's very cool looking, and you've got a little lava fall right there. But here is my favorite spot. We've got a really low island with a lot of bulk to it. It's very deep, so you've got a lot of room to work with if you want to build underground, and it's also very close to the landmass below it, so that it's actually very easy to get to without needing some sort of 200 block waterfall. It's also got a lot of terrain to it, a lot of mix-up. So we've got hills, we've got cows, and it just looks pretty normal, like your own little paradise hanging over the jungle around it. Now off behind it we've got some more really nice jungle hills that are just very steep. We've got some sort of circles cut into the generation right there, which I think looks very cool. And next to this, partnering it, we have this huge column with some landmass coming off of it. Almost like its own little tree branches, I think, is probably a good comparison. It's almost like a tree with land coming off of it with trees of its own. And there's a little cat right there. That poor kitty needs a fire truck to save it. And off behind it is one of everybody's favorite things, sand falls. Now I already had the crazy nerve to poke it. It was incredible. If you want to poke it for yourself, check out the seed. Now let's go ahead and move on to some swamp biome. Now I'm not normally a fan of swamp biomes or roofed forests, but when these two collide, it creates one of the most incredible mountains that I have ever had the pleasure to see in Minecraft. It's filled with both the normal roofed forest trees as well as the mushroom trees, and it's filled with holes, different water runoff, and it just looks incredible. It's got a lot of unique generation to it. It's very thick, it's very tall, and there's just a lot to it. So if you want to check this out, it is definitely worth traveling to see. There's also some cows that live on it, so if you need some food, that's a great way to get it. Not only do we have this incredible mountain, it's also surrounded by some other biomes such as forests and extreme hills, and also some plains. And right below it we have our very own witch hut, so if you're a redstoner or just an adventurer, this spot is definitely for you. Right here we have one of the worst farms ever built by villager kind. These guys have to suicide to get to it, and it is also built up some 40 or 50 blocks above the ground. That said, the rest of the generation around here is incredible. We've got this floating island, or not really floating island so much as a hilly island, with its own little village isolated from the rest of the land. We've also got some desert and some extreme hills to either side. The extreme hills form a very, very high landscape, while for the desert we've got a similar landscape, but in the desert format. If you're into seeing stone in the desert, then this is for you, but if you don't want to see the stone, you can go a little bit inland and still get the same incredible hills just a little farther in. This spot is really, really cool because it's a mix of the biomes, as well as they're all separated by a mass of water to give them their own kind of unique feel while all being very close together. It's a really great sight to see. Once again, the villagers didn't really seem to think through how they built this, putting farms on 4 different levels all throughout this desert, but they did pick a very good spot as it's complemented by both this extreme forest hills and some incredible mesa generation. We've also got our own little floating sand block there, so you can treasure that for the rest of your life. But this is some really, really cool mix of desert, extreme hills, and mesa to get you all the resources you need in one small area. This is far out from spawn, but I definitely think it's worth it, just as any mesa biome is. It's got a lot of cool generation, some floating islands, and it's also got a little bit of water right here that you can use for yourself. What seed would be complete without a mushroom biome? Now, this mushroom biome doesn't have the most incredible generation, but it is here, so it's something that you can use. Of course, as usual, mobs won't spawn in this mushroom biome. There are some mushrooms that'll spawn throughout it, and there's some cool shadows that you don't have to worry about since there is no hostile mob spawning. It's also got some hills to it, but it's definitely not one of my personal favorites, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. And finally, in this spot, very close to spawn, we have a battle of summer versus winter as the taiga meets jungle, savanna, as well as some plains and extreme hills. However, I think the taiga gets the advantage here with 2 floating islands and just some cooler generation. But the jungle around here, as well as the savanna, has some generation of its own, as we've got some little, I don't even know exactly what to call this, almost bowls sticking up above the islands right there, and the extreme hills has some crazy generation as well. Now, this is the last spot of the seed review, guys. This is going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, any comments to leave, feel free to leave them. Otherwise, go ahead and check the description for all the coordinates, all the information on the seed, and I can also leave some screenshots and a map of it down there as well. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.